evening, BroadCoven. Thank you for dropping in with me. I have a really important download to bring in today, and it's an interesting download. Okay, this came in a very unusual way where I simultaneously felt like somebody in the 3D, somebody who is actually physically alive here, operating in this realm of existence, was reaching out to me for some help in navigating a particular thorny spiritual matter. Okay. But simultaneously, it was like my mediumship was activated as well. And I felt like there was also like an earthbound spirit that was coming through that was wanting release. Only I'm not the one who can release them. This individual needs to release this earthbound spirit in order to find peace. And so it's dualistic too. It's not just for this person who like reached out to me on the ether. They may not have been intentionally reaching out to me specifically. I feel like this is somebody who's been looking for some kind of help, some kind of assistance in navigating a particularly thorny spiritual matter. And this person is just in a state of a certain level of desperation at this point. So they've been maybe sending up prayers. I just happen to pick it up. Okay. I happen to pick up this cry for help on the ether. It came in a lucid dream, and it was like this individual, it was a man, reached out to me and invited me in to like get a view of his world. It's almost like he was walking me back in time to show me the timeline of how things unfolded. And I knew when this came in that this is the download that had to take priority. And I also really want to take my time with this one and bringing it in. Okay, so we're going to dive into it because there's a lot of things I want to dig into deeper with it, just to get some clarity and also to get answers for whoever is reaching out for assistance with this matter. This matter has to do with a gift, okay? A gift that was received. It was gifted to this man by somebody that could be considered a family friend, okay? They don't need to be blood related. This can be somebody that's just a very close friend. There's a close connection there, and so this friend feels like family. This person is a friend of their partner, okay? And it did come through as their partner is a woman, okay? And they live together. So I'm not certain if they are married or if they are just in like a serious committed relationship, or if they have some other kind of partnership going on. Maybe they're in a situationship. Like a lot of people have been left in that place after everything that rolled out since 2020, okay? So there's almost like an epidemic of that kind of energy where people don't know how to define their relationship, and they're in an in-between place. But I do gather that there has been romantic involvement between these two people, and they have a household. So they're either married, in a current, active, committed romantic relationship, or they're in a situationship, and it's a transitional phase, and maybe there's ambiguity around that, around which way things go, okay? Sort of a crossroads energy, okay? So this friend, also a woman gave the gift, okay? That's a friend of this woman that she gave the gift to her partner, right? This man. It's an item that is like an antique item, and it comes from a very specific part of the world, right? It comes from either India, the Himalayas, Bengal, Eastern India specifically, Asia. I also got that it's a spiritual item, or it was owned by an individual that had a lot of their spiritual energy stored up in this object. It could have come from an ashram. It could have come from a temple. It could have come from a devotee's house. I do get that it's like an antique, all right? The way that it came through is that it's a mirror, all right? But there's always room for a certain level of interpretation in the lucid state. This could just be symbolizing the reflective and also projection sort of qualities of the message coming through. This is important. It is an object. It came through as a square mirror, or like a larger square, almost a rectangle. I guess it is a rectangle because it's not even, you know, it's not even on all sides, but it's fairly large, and it's got a lot of metal work around it, very ornate, very detailed. It's a pretty mirror. This is how it came through. It's pretty. And I feel like if it's another object for you, it has that same kind of quality to it. Maybe there's metal work featured on it. Maybe there's a lot of detailing. It definitely looks like it comes from that part of the world. And it's old. It's an antique. Okay. The friend said that they found this item at an estate sale or some type of antique shop, right? But I got that it's an antique item that is from an estate sale, right? This is significant. Ever since this gift came in, and there should be no strange energy around receiving this gift. In fact, this gift was probably given for somebody's birthday or some kind of special event. And so it was totally appropriate to be given this gift, especially from somebody that's considered like family, this friend. But the partner, the woman in this scenario, let's just call her the wife for the sake of just making it easy, okay? The wife in this scenario had just a real visceral, strong aversion reaction to this object being brought in. And specifically, this object was brought into the bedroom. And what's interesting about this is the reason why I talked about the mirror maybe being sort of like this, this message speaking of the reflective, projective quality. The wife really had this adverse, visceral reaction to it. And even was confused as to why it was brought into the bedroom, because there is already a mirror in the bedroom. You see what I mean? It could be sort of symbolic too, okay? In other words, I feel like this wife felt the energy that was attached to it, as if there was almost like another person's essence attached to this object. So it almost felt like inviting an outside energy into this intimate space, and it felt very violating. Instantly, this wife had this very like adverse reaction to it, like, I don't like this, I don't want this in here, I want it removed from the bedroom. And the husband was extremely adamant about keeping it there, okay, and almost had a certain level of attachment to it. Now, this is where at this point, the husband started to talk to me about issues that have been happening within the home, within their relationship, and even with himself since this came into the home. The relationship he had with his partner has completely changed. They haven't really been intimate with each other. They've noticed a certain emotional distance starting to be created between the two of them, right? He also noticed that, you know, he started to feel almost repelled by his partner, whereas before he never had that feeling. He always felt very drawn, very attracted to his partner. In fact, they really had a very healthy, intimate life, okay, before this came in. So there's like some kind of separation that's been caused. And it's been a source of argument between them too. This mirror has been a source of argument, yes, with the Five of Swords. And, you know, there's almost this piece here that there's been so much argument and resistance around something so simple as taking this object out of the bedroom, okay, that there's almost suspicion that's starting to be roused around it within the wife. I got this, okay? She wants to know. She wants to know what's really up with this. She suspects that something isn't quite right with this. Maybe she's even starting to suspect the connection that her husband has with her friend, okay? This family friend that is her friend, you know? It's sort of like, you know, you inherit the friends from, you know, your partner. It's got those kind of vibes, okay? This is her friend, somebody she considers family, right? And she may be starting to really have some, you know, issues with this. Now, I get that maybe the wife has even talked to the friend about it, and the friend has been very adamant about, you know, why would you not want to have this in the bedroom? Look at what a beautiful gift it is. And there's sort of this desire to, you know, just put the spin on it where it almost makes the wife feel guilty for expressing her discomfort with the situation. 11:11 on the clock. Okay. So it's caused problems within the home. It's caused unrest within the home. It's also caused a strange change in behavior for the masculine in this situation, and he acknowledges it. He's aware of it. He's noticed that he's starting to have like a lot of vices, a lot of desires, a lot of urges, and things that he feels like he can't control himself from doing. And in some cases, he's even like started to tiptoe into some really gray areas. Maybe he's even stepped over some social norm boundary lines, so to speak. He might have even been involved in some kind of crime. Okay, this came in. At this point, this is when the other energy came in. Okay, this sort of mediumship energy started to take over, and I started to get in touch with the energy. The person who owned this object, okay, it's got like artifact energy, antique energy around it. They were a criminal. They were a criminal. They had a lot of vices. They were not a good person. They did a lot of dirty deeds. This individual had a lot that they kept hidden. I get that they presented themselves to the public as being very spiritual, evolved kind of person, may have even lived in an ashram, may have even been a teacher, somebody who had a certain level of stature, and was viewed as a very pious sort of person, but had like a double life and did a lot of really seedy, horrible things. Judgment. Yes, right on the money about this. Okay, we're getting into the deep karmic roots of this particular object. He never atoned for his errors. He never cleared himself of that karma by actually doing the dharma, doing the work. He ended up dying, and with him, he died with this shame. This shame. He felt shame at his time of passing. Now, what's interesting is I get that it's a mirror. And the reason why I say that is because whatever this object is, whether it's a mirror or it's some other type of antique, his essence went into it at the time of his death. So this is some object that he was very connected to. I get that he did a lot of spiritual work with this object. I saw like a lot of mirror work. I saw a lot of just spiritual practice incorporating this object. I did see an image of this mirror. It was facing like another mirror kind of energy. Like there was even multiple mirrors in this person's space when the original owner had it. It was also a source of consternation. The fact that it was facing another reflective surface. And that reflective surface could be glass, it could be a window, okay? It could be reflective surface as in some kind of water feature as well. I got this. This might even still be kind of like playing out in the present environment. Like you might have this near a water feature. You might have it facing another mirror. You might have it facing a window. There's something about this that creates like a portal effect, okay? And so at the time of passing, the soul, you know, leaving the body to ascend to another dimensional reality of experience can get lured in to a mirror, especially when it's forming this sort of portal effect. And so it can trap the soul and make it earthbound. And so this object is housing this particular soul. I don't know if the person who gave the gift is aware of the history of the item. I also don't quite know if it's possible that they called an old soul into the item. This remains to be seen. This is why I want to dive into the energy and get some more details about it, okay? So this man started to notice, getting back to present day man who received this item as a gift. This man started to notice he started to have vices. He started to do things that were out of character. He started to have certain urges, certain desires, certain things that he found it very hard to resist, that had him acting out of character. He may have even started dressing very differently, you know. This is a grown man. This is not somebody who's, you know, young. This is somebody who's, you know, they're in their like mid 30s on up. Like this is somebody who's got a little lessons under their belt, right? And they're not who they were back when they were younger, but it's almost like this person, some would say it looks like they're going through a midlife crisis. They may be dressing the way they used to dress, you know, when they were young. They're even acting differently than they have been acting. Like it's like something is really changing in their demeanor. As their demeanor is changing, it's starting to also bring forward a certain kind of like rage, a certain kind of aggression. Maybe there's been more arguments in the home. What's interesting though is it's not just affecting this man, it's affecting any other man who comes into the space in the same way. It activates like this aggression. And I got like even like a father came over and he was acting out of character and a fight started between him and I get it's his father. I don't feel like it's her father, okay? So an argument started between them. And for much the same reason, there was also this real appreciation of the object. I think the fight started around the object. So there's certain things that have happened frequently around this object, this mirror. I'm going to call it a mirror because it came through as a mirror, but do know it could be any object that's fitting the bill where this scenario speaks to you, okay? So this man said he's tried so many things to figure out what's going on. At one point, he started thinking, is somebody like doing some workings on me? Does somebody like do spell work on me? And I got that this person doesn't normally even look at things like this, okay? And with this, we got the Page of Cups flew out into the little cauldron here, okay? Water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, okay? Says protection from enemies here, okay? So far we got Libra energy on the board. We also have water sign energy on the board. Right? Something to be mindful of here. Two of Pentacles. This is something that needs to be balanced out karmically here. For more than just those who are, you know, here living in 3D reality, there's also this particular earthbound spirit that needs to be released so it can move on, okay? This definitely needs to be brought to closure. There needs to be a sense of freedom here. This is becoming extremely burdensome, right? Extremely burdensome. And it's kind of reaching a critical point because this energy is very slowly just siphoning the life force. The reason why it's siphoning the life force is that this energy likes to jump into the masculine. And it's sort of like they're acting out these things that they feel shame about, that they never were able to sort of be absolved for before they passed, because they never took accountability. So it's also this interesting energy where then there's a sort of warped sort of satisfaction that comes from this earthbound spirit, and that it feels like it gets to watch, you know, this husband get so-called punished or suffer repercussions for his action in the form of the losses he experiences. It's weird. It's almost like he feels like this spirit that passed on, it is coming through his masculine. It's like this earthbound spirit feels that it absolves them of their guilt that they never got to be cleansed of, just sort of place it on another and then watch them experience the loss. So this is where the projection piece coming in. It's very unusual energy. So this husband, you know, really started noticing like, wow, I'm starting to have a lot of things just go wrong. Like there's been mechanical problems with the car. There's been things that have been breaking around the house. There's been losses financially. This person may have lost a job, you know, lost a steady stream of income, or lost some kind of money that was due them that they were really counting on that fell through. 22 on the clock, okay? And so they started reaching out for help. In fact, with the way this wound up in the cauldron here, they could have reached out to a water sign energy for help with this. Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. They maybe sought comfort from this person. They asked this person to help them because they felt like somebody was maybe doing something to them, okay? They felt like, is somebody like casting some kind of spell work on me or something? Is somebody working against me? So this person went to this person for help, probably even paid this person some money to help them out. And this person said, yeah, I can handle this. I know what I'm doing. I'll straighten that out for you. I'm not sure if this person is the same person that gave the gift. It's possible. I'm not certain about that. I think I'm going to ask that right now. Just clear this up right away. Is this Page of Cups the one who gave the gift in the first place? Is this Page of Cups the one who gave this gift in the first place? Yes. High Priestess. Okay. This Page of Cups is a High Priestess. Okay. So this is something maybe they've kept more on the down low. I got, all right. They don't like advertise this. This is somebody who walks a solitary path. They don't advertise this, right? But this person does claim to have a certain level of knowledge in working in this area, okay? So I do feel like this is the same person who gave this gift. Now, this is my question. Did they call this earthbound spirit into this gift? Did they call this earthbound spirit into this gift? Three of Swords, no, they didn't, okay? They didn't call it in. They didn't call it in, okay? So this came to us as a surprise to this person as well, all right? When they discovered that this was causing so much loss, all right? I don't know if they know about the history of this item. Did they know about the history of this item, like where it came from? I mean, obviously it's an antique. It could come from an estate sale. Even if they got it at a thrift shop, it's something that wound up there through like some kind of estate sale. I got Six of Pentacles in reverse. They might know a little bit about the history. They might know a little bit about the history, okay? There is something that's a little secretive here, okay? They might know a little bit about the history of the item. Maybe there's a little bit of lore about the item, or what it's used for maybe is subject to some lore. Seven of Swords, bottom of the deck there. Yeah, so there is some understanding. They didn't call an earthbound spirit in, like they're not the one who called that spirit in, but they are aware that there's something interesting about this object because it says here knowledge of good and evil. Okay. So this was an intentional gift. It was a strategic move to give this gift here. All right. Somebody here was wanting to obtain a certain means to an end here by giving this gift. They knew that it would fulfill a particular request for them, something that they had been wanting, something they'd been desiring in this situation, but they didn't call this energy into it. It's more like the spirit in which it was given. This is what's coming through, knowing that it would be problematic in some way. And they do understand the history of this item as well. I believe that they know that it comes from an estate, or they know what this item is connected to. For some of you, it's like a spiritual object. It's something very specific. It's something that's used in spiritual tradition, let's say, okay? They knew what it's used for. And that played a role in why they gave this particular gift, okay? They went to this person. They went to this person for assistance. This person had been helping them with different kinds of like cleansing. They've been doing lifting work for them. None of the lifting work has been effective. If things have continued to be problematic here. Why was none of the lifting work effective in this situation, Spirit? Give us the download on this, angels. Why was none of the lifting work specific? How come this High Priestess, Page of Cups, how come none of their work was effective in lifting this? Why? Oh, they tell me to ask the other deck. It's showing here the disappointment has been a result of lack of healing capacity. Okay, so this person doesn't quite know how to lift it. Yes, they don't know how to lift it. Oh, isn't this wild? On the bottom of this deck, we have the Nine of Wands here, okay, for the Occult Tarot. And also on the bottom of the Angel deck, 9 energy, very significant coming in here. Virgo energy coming in pretty strongly here. Yes, okay. In fact, there may have been some things set in motion by these two, by the husband and the friend who, you know, is trying to help out with this matter. They consider themselves like a high priestess type. They consider themselves like a worker of the craft, and they claim to know what they're doing, but I feel like they don't understand how to get through this. And in doing some workings, it's sort of almost like made the energy more entrenched, okay? And so they're both needing like release from this energy at this point. They've been trying to fight off this energy very strongly. They've been throwing everything they know at it to try to get this energy hooked up here, I have to say. They've been trying to throw everything that they know at this to try to get this hooked up. Hierophant coming in here, okay? So this is somebody, they're coming in as High Priestess, Hierophant. Perhaps both of these people claim to have a real understanding of metaphysics or spirituality in their own right, all right? But there's something here they don't understand. See, look at this. It says right here, the Hierophant. This is the energy that used to own it. It's in this object. It could even be in an object like a Kartika, you know. Kartikas or Vajra, you know, they're things that are used in Tibetan tradition. They're also used throughout, you know, traditions all throughout Asia, all throughout India, okay, in spiritual traditions to catch up, you know, energies, to do psychic surgery, you could say, okay. So for some of you, it's in a Vajra, okay, it's in a Kartika specifically. Okay, a Kartika Vajra associated with Kali energy, okay? It says here, transforms men with dignities and finds favor with friends and foes. So see, there's something about this energy of this Hierophant who owned this item, okay, whose soul is now sort of like bound to this item, which has made him in turn earthbound, that is like very deceptive in the way that it makes energies that are supposed to be friendly turn into the opposite. And that's because this person was living a life that they presented an image of being very pristine, evolved, spiritual, and yet they had this like dark, hidden side to themselves. It was like a secret life. So this is also coloring the relationships. And this is what's interesting though, it only affects those who are actually in the space with the item. So though people can come into the space and they'll get affected by the energy, they leave and they don't carry it forward with them. You know what I mean? But there's something here about this particular friend that gave the item that identifies as this like high priestess type or witchy type here. They have become bound to this energy in doing workings with the husband, their friend's partner, to try to reverse this, to try to cleanse this. It's made things complicated because now they're too corded in mutually to this energy. So two people are really trying to find the way to get released from this because they've been trying to fight it off. They've been throwing all the commands they know at it. They've been trying everything that they know, everything they're familiar with. They've been doing lots of workings around this with the 8 of Pentacles here to try to clear this energy. And no matter what they try to throw at it, it keeps taking on new forms, okay? So in other words, this energy can like transfer. It can jump from person to person. But the thing is it's bound to that space because it's bound to the item. That's why I got like the father came by for a visit and the father was affected. It started an argument, but he left and everything was fine after that. And I know that this energy is transferable like that. And the reason why I say that is because I looked at this gentleman who had brought me in for assistance and I said, the problem is the mirror. I mean, he hadn't told me the story yet about how the mirror got there. I noticed the mirror and I called it out. I'm like, this is the issue. There's an energy attached to this mirror. You don't need to do cleansing. You need to get rid of this. You need to get rid of this item. And you also need to effectively release the energy that's held in the item. And he kind of like, put it off. He's like, oh, no, that's not it. And then he told me the story of how it came in. Now, what's interesting is in the dream, as he's telling me this story, he's like, he starts to take on like a seductive sort of quality. He wants to offer me a drink. He's being flirtatious, and yet he has a partner. And I was noticing it, and I recognized I was seeing a change in him even as he was talking to me. And I was like, wait a minute, something's up here. And so as he started to tell me more details, I was watching him morph before my eyes. I could feel like something shifting, like in the atmosphere of the room, of the space we were in. And it was at that point, I felt this energy coming from the mirror behind me, because I was standing in front of the mirror. And I felt it try to enter in through the back of my head, the back side of Ajna, the third eye chakra. And I was like, oh no. And I reached back and I grabbed it and sort of like threw it off of me. And in so doing, it went directly into the man that was talking to me, the man who had needed help, assistance, figuring out how can I get this energy out of here, who's working against me. And I know that the energy went directly into him because he fell onto his back. It's like it knocked him down to the ground, the force of it. It was like the entity entered this person. And I went and I looked down at him and I saw evil where there wasn't evil before. There's something that changed in his eyes. It's like his eyes went black. His eyes went soulless. And then it really made me realize in that moment what was going on, because this man had even said that he'd started to experience a lot of health problems. He was dealing with like serious health challenges. The people within the living space were starting to get sick as well. Okay, so, and this is even when somebody came for a little bit of a stay because they had had a surgery. They were in the hospital. They had some surgery, something they were needing to recover from. And so they were staying at the house for a while and they got worse. They actually ended up leaving the space because they felt like they weren't getting any better. They weren't going to recover there. Okay, so I could see there was this like real draining quality to this energy, like very siphoning, leaching energy. And I don't know why, but when I saw the evil on his face, it's almost like judgment. Look at this, judgment. It was like for a moment in time, I became the mirror to reflect to him through my eyes what I was seeing in him, because I knew in that moment I wasn't talking to him. I was talking to this hierophant that's earthbound spirit that's in this this mirror, this object. And so when I looked at him, I first reflected like his evil to him so he could see it, so he could recognize it. I like projected it back to him so he could see it and witness it. And then after that, it was the strangest thing. I felt Kali Ma's energy come in so strongly. And I looked at him and I went, and what was strange is as soon as I did that, he looked utterly like horrified. He looked like it scared the bejesus out of him. And he started to cry. He started to become very emotional. And he also went, and he stuck his tongue out. Before I go into what happened next, it's important to note that the reason why Kali sticks out the tongue is not out of rage. She sticks out her tongue out of shame. And so this is almost like in this moment, that that moment of absolution that earthbound spirit needed to be able to be witnessed in their deeds. I got so much sentience coming in right now. They were absolved of that in that moment. It was like a recognition and a submission as well, because when Kali sticks out the tongue, okay, the masculine, Shiva, is on the ground. He's on the ground laying down because Kali is in a rage. She's causing destruction all around her. And he lays on the ground in submission because he knows that if he does not lay down on the ground in submission and block her steps forward, everything will be destroyed. And Kali goes to step, and she goes and steps on Shiva's chest, and Shiva is her beloved. And so upon seeing that her rage, her wrath caused her to do this, to step on her beloved, on the one that she loves with all of her heart, she sticks out her tongue in shame, like, expel this from me, take this from me. Okay, so this is the energy. And so he in that moment was surrendering that, like, take this from me. And I looked down, and in his throat was coming up this huge parasite with teeth on it. And I reached into his throat. I didn't reach into his throat. I feel like it was Kali's energy reaching into his throat and grabbing that parasite influence, that earthbound soul, right? And it got ripped out of him and cast away. And then I woke up. So this is the nature of what's being dealt with here. If this is dinging for you, you may have recently felt that this energy has started to shift, or it's losing its stronghold. You're starting to become aware that maybe the wife's concern about this item is warranted. You're starting to look at the timeline. I do feel like whatever feeling was roused in the woman, it could have been a feeling that she had experienced before. Okay, this wife, when she saw the object, this visceral reaction is because it reminded her of something she had encountered before. It reminded her of something she had encountered before when she was much younger, and she encountered something that felt very malevolent, very evil to her. And that's why she had this reaction. Strength, yes, it's something that's rooted in her past, and it just like it overtook her. It's like this past life like recall. In some cases it can be. I didn't anticipate saying that. She knew it would bring destruction. She knew it would bring discord. She knew. It says here, builds towers or destroys stone walls, causes rough waters, finds witches. So you see here, okay, strength, Leo energy. There's also this horse that comes in here, movement forward with power. We know there's some strategy here. So while I'm not saying that whoever this character is coming in could be Cancer, Leo, Cusper, I have to say, this particular witch or whoever offered assistance here, I'm not saying they called this energy into this object, but they knew the history of it. This was something that was given as an intentional gift. There's an understanding of what this item is used for. There's an understanding of the end result, what would be achieved by offering this gift. And it was to bring about some kind of disruption, disharmony, some kind of division. It was to bring a tower. It was also to break down defenses here. But this has become quite a thorny issue because I feel like this is a case where it's like the witch has become bound to the work because she didn't know, okay, maybe she has her sights set on the husband. She didn't know that it would weaken him. She didn't know it would cause loss for him. She didn't know it would cause suffering for him. And so when she saw that it had that result, and maybe he didn't necessarily affect the target. Who was the target? This is interesting the way this is coming in. Who was the target? What was the target? Let's just look at what instead of who. What was the target with giving the gift? Why was the gift given? Why was the gift given by the friend? Why was the gift given? What was the point? It was something very intentional. There was a specific aim with it. High Priestess in reverse. There was a nefarious aim with this. Okay? It was to tear apart love. Normally when this is upright, it means to cause love, but it's in reverse. And to block vision. See, it says shows vision of the world, to block vision. To block vision. And to create division. Interesting. Because I did feel the energy wanted to come through the backside of the third eye chakra, Ajna. And with this Seven of Swords, this is the key. Okay, the key to healing this situation. You have to get rid of this item. You have to get rid of this. This will create healing. And it says here, returns items and punishes thieves and reveals the hidden treasure. All right. I believe the hidden treasure is the aim, what was desired by giving this gift. There's something here that maybe will help you understand that everything that you think has been lost has not been lost. It's a bit of an illusion. It's that it has been sort of, I'm trying to think of the right way to describe this. It hasn't been stolen. It's been hidden. It's been hidden from your awareness. It's been hidden from your view because you were looking in the wrong places. You were looking instead at your partner. You're the problem. You're what's causing these issues. You were looking at your circumstances like, oh, it's because I got this job and, I didn't get along with my boss. And so I lost my job and that caused, a loss of money in the household, which caused stress, which caused fighting. It's because, my partner's been sick or I've been sick. This is the problem. And it's all been like misplaced. So it's sort of like the source of what is causing the sickness. And it is a sickness. It's an energetic sickness. It's a spiritual sickness that's affecting the material. It's affecting the material. It's also affecting the physical body. It's starting to become a health issue. So I got that it's really important to dispose of this item. But in order to dispose of this item, it requires proper disposal. It also requires that whatever is bound to that item is released. Okay? So this is about following proper protocol for that. And it depends on the item and it depends on the tradition. So you're going to have to go and really understand what part of the world this item comes from and what tradition, you would need to go through. It's like you have to go through the roots of that particular lineage, ancestry, in order to properly dispose of this in the correct manner. You don't know the proper way to dispose of this. That's what I got. Okay, it's coming in very strongly, but if you address this matter, then instantly you are going to feel a lifting here. You're also going to have an understanding as well of this friend, okay? This to me almost feels like a whole other side issue. The motivations do not come from a good place in this regard. But this is somebody like sort of dipping their toes in waters that are out of their depth and they don't know how to swim. And it ends up creating a big problem. I was just reminded of that quote. Oh, I have to paraphrase it. But it's sort of like what is just, diving to the depths for the mystic is akin to, entering the realm of psychosis for somebody who is out of their depths and doesn't know how to really navigate those waters. Okay, so this is somebody stepping in out of their depths and they brought something in that they do not know how to manage. They do not know how to clear this out either. I do feel that there's been monetary loss as well from this person helping this individual clear, out this issue. Saying they knew how to do it, but they don't. All right. And they know they don't. So this is a whole other ethical issue to deal with here. And I feel like my main job here, why I was given this download, is to let you know that you need to dispose of that item and you need to do it properly. It needs to be disposed of in a ritual manner. Okay. There's a specific way to release the item. So I suggest that you go to somebody who specializes in that particular lineage to get their assistance on how to release this. Because once you release the item properly, then you will be able to have release from this energy. It will totally lift what's been hardship, what's been division, what's been loss, what's been affliction. It feels like being afflicted, okay? All of this will lift instantaneously, but it can be disastrous. if you dispose of this in the incorrect manner, or if you pass it on, because you have to understand that there's already, like, your karma has become attached with this energy. Do you understand? It's now part of your work to clear this energy too. You got sucked into it. It's like, this is what the agreement was in accepting this object. When we accept gifts from others, it attaches us to the energy of the object. So there needs to be a proper release of this energy in the correct manner. And you're going to need to really, like, look into this to understand this. The keys are in the roots. The keys are in the roots. All right. They're in the roots. For a lot of you, you will need to earth the energy. Okay. But that's going to look different for each of you. And again, it depends on the tradition. This is coming through very strongly. This will instantly change things. It will change things immediately. You'll be free from what's felt like a great affliction to you. It's coming through as an affliction. It's like slowly been eroding your health, your well-being, your happiness, your relationships. Yeah, this will bring it to a close. And you'll get beyond your injury here. And on the other side of that, there's a treasure. It's sort of like your treasure is the very thing that, you've been biting the hand of. It's the thing that feeds you. It's the thing that nurtures you. But you become kind of caught up in a glamour, in illusion, as a result of the connection to this energy, right? There's a way to overcome this and gain freedom from this. Yes, and you'll learn something along the way. It is kind of giving you your chops. You could be dealing with fixed sign energy in regard to this situation as well. Pretty strong Leo energy coming through. Pretty strong Taurus energy as well. We also have Scorpio energy coming in here. Aquarian energy. Okay. Cancer came in as well. Cancer, Leo, cusp energy. Right. You could be dealing with any of these characters. Libra energy. You could be, holding these energies. I do feel like this is closing up something very significant. Like, you are meant to travel on this loop, even though it feels like something that was, like, put on you, like an affliction, like a curse. Okay, this is actually like something that's followed you for a long time. You've been chained to it for a long time. You were chained to it in the past. You're chained to it now. These are bindings that go way back. Okay, everything happens for a reason. But now is your opportunity to cut yourself free. Don't go and stab yourself in the foot, though, right? Yes, there's this piece here about, you want to be careful about sort of directing your energy at this time as far as doing defensive working. I feel like it's not defensive working you need to do. You need to do release energy. You need to release this earthbound spirit before more damage is done. It could turn out quite detrimental, I have to say. This is how it's coming through. The message did feel like it was extremely urgent. This is not something that you can continue to, do spiritual baths for. It's not going to lift it. It's not. There's a simultaneous result that needs to be achieved here. Not only does the item need to properly be disposed of, but this earthbound spirit needs to be freed. It needs to be freed. It needs to be freed. Okay? It's on the other side of the cut here. Ace of Swords. That's the truth. It needs to be freed. Because right now, it's like an anchor that's holding everything down. All right? And it's going to continue to cause like this inflammation. This is, the energy has a lot of fire to it, very intensely. It says, inflames men with women's love and women with men's love, causes them to show themselves naked if desired. Right? I told you that when this energy, okay, and I did pick up this energy about this Hierophant, okay, that used to own this item, this antique, before his passing. This Hierophant was a bit of a sexual deviant. That energy came through very strongly. And I do feel that this energy still acts out in this way. And in fact, this may have been what made the wife, the partner, become so like activated. It could have reminded her of some kind of violation in her childhood, or she knows this kind of energy. She feels this energy. She knows what this energy is like. Okay, so there's something here. This is the truth. This energy needs to be cleared out. You clear it out and it'll really turn things around, right? King of Swords. Yes, look at this, okay? Air sign energy. There's that Aquarian energy. This is also Libra energy coming in very strongly as well. Could also be Gemini coming in here, but it says victory, grants victory and protection from lightning. Once this is cut off and the light is shined for that, earthbound spirit to be released in the appropriate way, you will get to the other side of this, okay? Let me see any final details about this, angels. It just came in so strongly. I had to bring it in. The moon, Gabriel. And again, Pisces energy, Cancerian energy here, okay? This it says here, has the power to destroy, reveals messages that have the power to destroy. And I feel that the message is this, what I'm bringing in right now. This has the power to destroy what's had a hold on you. You haven't been able to see it. It's been cloaked from you. It's been cloaked from you. It's been hidden under the moon. But this is, time to clear this out. Gabriel coming in here, okay? Archangel Gabriel coming in to help out with this matter, to sound that horn, to give the walking papers this energy. And there we got the Lovers right here, okay? Gemini energy coming in here. And it says joy and pleasure brings happiness to couples and removes negative energy. All right, I'm resting on this. So whatever the initial aim was of this particular high priestess in reverse that gave this gift to her friend's partner, okay, to create some kind of division, problem, whatever, this will be lifted, okay? There's a balance that's restored here. It also frees her. And quite frankly, she needs to be freed of this energy right now too. With the moon still showing up here. She needs to be cleared of it as well. She's bound to the karma of this energy. She's the one who gave the gift. So it's not just those who receive it. She also decided to take it on when she purchased this item, when she bought it as a gift, and when she brought it into this couple's home. Okay, so there's this piece here too. She needs it as well. She may not realize that. She may realize that right now as I'm revealing it, but this is the truth, I'm telling you. Anything else? Yeah, this will bring about a balance. It will bring things back into harmony here. See, there's 3 involved in this situation. Okay, there's 3 involved in this situation. And these energies need to work together in order to release this, all right? It's the couple and this friend. They're all tied into it. They're all tied into it. So there's a need to really, dispose of this properly. And I'm just going to do one cut of the deck here to see any other clues that want to come in around this for you. Child in reverse, okay? Poetry and passion, okay? So these are clues here, right? There's clues here. This could be the result of, a love working that, was meant to bring about a tower, okay? Was meant to bring about a tower. Might have even been words that went into this. Maybe there was something special written in that